Welcome to The Odd Couple, episode number 6. Like my friend Gerry says, we're all enamel rods running through the matrix of life. Isn't that beautiful? Well, a lot of more beautiful things coming in this nice and interesting conversation again between Gerry Samson, my friend, and myself, Stephane Reinhardt. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Gerry, what a year! What a year!
Yeah, not one that anybody on planet Earth is going to forget, huh?
That's it. Maybe for different reasons, but I mean, you've been. How many years have you been in dentistry now?
Well, I finished dental school. I'm not good at straight line math, but I finished dental school in 1975.
75.
What year were you born?
68.
And
so I was 7, but that I'm from through all these years. So I was 7. I'm 52. 52 less 7 is 45. You've been 45 years, Gerry. 45 years in dentistry. Are you, and I'm knowing you, I know in a certain way you're happy that you've seen this year.
We are all, let me, Stephane, with the fingers. Let's see the finger. We're all little enamel rods running through the matrix of life.
Oh, that is
flowing through the matrix. Little enamel, we're undifferentiated mesenchymal cells. We're all at rest, undifferentiated. Are you going to be an osteoclast in 2021? Or are you going to be an osteoblast? Or are you going to stay undifferentiated? That's what I'd like our people to be thinking about. The winter solstice. The winter solstice, I mean, this is a big deal to prehistoric people. Can you imagine? It's getting darker and darker and darker. This can't be good. This is like COVID. It's getting darker and darker and darker. It's not good. And then the days start getting longer. Huh? The solstice. That's a big day. And then we just had these planets like, what was it? Lineup, was it Jupiter and Mars or something?
Yeah, Jupiter and which
Saturn. It was Saturn.
Saturn, Jupiter.
Yeah, they lined up. It's like, yeah, they're lining up. Did you go look at it?
Just like you and me?
Yeah, like that.
Can we do it?
Yeah.
Can we try? See what happens? We're disappearing. Those of you again who are just listening to this, you're missing something.
What are they missing?
They're just missing us disappearing.
Oh, because it's the audio thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, outer space, I mean, the solstice, all this is happening at once, and now the vaccine, but outer space, I mean, I spent a lot of time spaced out. This is not cosmic. The solstice. So all of these things,
Gerry, I don't know what you ate, but I want to have the same thing.
Well, come on over. Just come through the screen.
Like in the movie, I'm gonna have what he's having.
Yeah, remember that one? That was a funny line.
Yeah, that one. Everybody remembers that one.
Everybody.
I'm gonna have what she's having.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's. I mean, females can fake the whole thing, but males, well, I guess you could, except. Anyway, moving right along.
Yeah, well, the Gerry, it was.
It's the solstice.
Want to talk about it, Gerry?
The planets have lined up. Well, and now, maybe this is some sort of intergalactic sign that this difficult time of this COVID business, and that everybody's vaccine hopeful. So the solstice kind of lines up with these planets in what's going to happen for next year. in life and in dentistry. I mean, that's kind of what we like to talk about, right?
That's it. That's it. Wonder what's gonna happen? Yes, next. What's gonna stay? I mean, there obviously was some changes, changes in the way we do things because we had no choice sometimes to change. But what's gonna stay?
I think teledentistry.
What's gonna be permanent? Yeah.
Teledentistry. I think we talked a little bit about it in one of the past five, but I looked this up. This fella, he's a general dentist named Marty Jablow in New Jersey, and he had some stuff on. That was a doctor by Cuspid, I think. COVID recovery and beyond. Here's what he's saying, Stephane. Teledentistry is now becoming a new standard for providing part of a patient's dental treatment. Understanding how to use this technology to bring the patient into the office only when necessary, he puts down. I'm reading directly from Marty Jablow's stuff. Will foster the perception of your office as being a safe place and recognizing the patient's time is also valuable. Calls that stage 3 recovery and beyond. What do you think of that, Stephane? What's your impression of this? Because I mean, on my side, I think this teledentistry thing, like telemedicine, is so appealing that I mean it's a permanent change. I mean,
it is.
Patients going to accept it, the profession's going to accept it, but here in the States, the American Dental Association seems like they're not embracing this. You see, they're not embracing this with the sense of urgency which I think it deserves. What do you think?
But why do you think? Why is that why do they react like this? Because I think that with COVID, we probably stepped forward at least 5 years ahead, faster than it would have been.
And my understanding is that medicine is moving forward much faster.
Yeah.
Physical medicine, I'll say physical medicine.
What, isn't it always moving faster than we are?
Yeah, that's because we're little enamel rods stuck in the matrix of life.
I always thought it was something more regional here. You know, when I did my university years, I could see already there was a big difference between the students in you know, who were studying to become medical doctors, physicians, and us dentists. Everything was more me, myself, and I in dentistry. And in those who were studying in medicine, they were like really like a group, and they support each other. And is it the same? Do you have the same feeling? Did you have the same feeling at the time? Is there a reason for that?
And what?
Or it's only my impression?
So you started dental school in what year?
In 1988.
And that was in Montreal.
Yeah.
So I started my first year of dental school was 1971 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My impression immediately, which was borne out, I mean, it turned out to be true, is that this was not a collegial experience. The dental fraternities, for example, were just all clicked. You have that term in French, clicked? Clique?
There's a clique, yeah.
And they had what we call gouges. Now, a gouge is a test that's been given before for years. They might have 10 years of tests that had been given by this same teacher or professor or whatever. And they only share those gouges with people in their fraternity. Did you have this thing, gouges?
Yeah. We had things like that.
Yeah. And this may come as were you in a fraternity?
No, that it's not popular here. We don't have this fraternity. And no, there's nothing like that here. Well, not at least not in the French universities. Maybe at McGill. I'm not sure at McGill. Maybe they have that. But in the French universities, it's not something we have like frat or no. Nothing like that. I remember when I went with you when we went um, to see Case Western.
Yeah.
You know, when you showed me, we were with Michael Schwartz, and you showed me all these little houses that were the frat houses and everything.
Yeah,
It's not something we have here. We don't have this culture. We don't have this thing. This is why every time we saw movies from the US, you know, all these movies from teenagers and everything, it's not something we know here. We don't have that.
That is extremely
The alpha, omega, whatever. No, nothing like that.
well. That's fascinating because obviously this has a major effect here in the United States. Which fraternity you were in?
Yeah.
And of course, they have all these fraternity cultural rules and mores and induction secret ceremonies and things like this. And then doors open or doors close, depending on which fraternity you were in. Now, this, do you think that I joined a fraternity at any point?
That's a trick question. I think you probably had your own. You were the only one in it.
It was a lonely existence, but I followed every rule and broke every rule because I was the fraternity. No, I didn't. No.
I don't see yourself. No, I cannot picture that.
No, I found this very unappealing.
Yeah.
I mean, for my friends in dental school that were in fraternities, you know, that was interesting. But
yeah.
So you have these groups of some of which thought they were very elitist, and some were not so much elitist. And what surprised me in dental school was that everybody in the dental school I went to, and I won't name the school, but I already did say the city. Each of the dental students were out for themselves. You know, we talked about this last time. Are you an influencer or a motivator? Is that what we did? Influencer or motivator?
Influencer and not motivator, because motivator would be an influencer and manipulators.
Oh, manipulator. Yeah.
Oh, manipulators.
Well,
I have to manipulators.
Yeah, that'll be a New Year's resolution. Is I'll try not to
manipulate.
Well, try not to forget things as quickly as that. What was your name again?
I don't know. Wait.
That's the thing about losing your memory.
I'll look on my phone. My name is Stephane. Okay.
Well, as your memory fades, you meet so many new and interesting people.
That's it. Exactly.
So I was struck by how cutthroat. How do you say this in French?
Yeah, cutthroat. Yeah. Tranche-gorge, oui.
Yeah. Well, how do you say it? Tranche-gorge?
Tranche-gorge. Do you like me imitating you? Imitating me?
No, I'm doing the best I can.
Tranche-gorge.
Yeah. Patat. So the cutthroat and the cheating. Oh my God. The cheating was
cheating, really?
Yeah. Now, for those that are just audioing, Stephane's rolling his eyes around. So you didn't have this problem in your dental school?
No, never.
To the point where when graduation finally happened, that wonderful day, when we became less undifferentiated, the guy sitting next to me on each side and the guy behind me, but one of those three looked at his diploma with tears in his eyes and said to me, Gerry, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this diploma. and I looked at him and I said, why would you say something that profound? He said, because I was cheating off of you all the time. And he said, and you never complained about it. You actually moved your paper so I could see it a little bit. And I said, yeah, I didn't mind. And this guy's an excellent general dentist.
Yeah.
And I said to him, well, I barely got through this myself. I hope you didn't copy it directly, because then, obviously we both graduated. So, yeah, that was an issue. And I think as far as the standards of things in general are questionable. People can be very economical with their standards. And I'm speaking now about the standards. For example, here, listen to this. This is the patient's rights, patient's Bill of Rights from the American Dental Association. Dental patients whose care is rendered or coordinated using teledentistry modalities have the right to expect the following. One, that any dentist delivering directly or supervising services using teledentistry technologies will be licensed in the state where the patient receives services, or by providing these services as otherwise authorized by that state's dental board. So what does that mean if you're giving a second opinion? Because you and I both do that. You have the C.L.E.A.R Institute.
That's
I have
it.
Gnathos. I mean, I'm giving people advice from many different country, or many different states, many different countries, actually. And so are you. I mean, do you have to be licensed in a province?
Yeah.
But
you have, and when you finish, you have the option to do like a kind of a board where it can be, you're able to practice everywhere in Canada. But if you don't do it, then you're restricted to your province.
Yeah, we don't have, you're probably aware, we don't have that here.
No, that's it.
We have
state by state.
Well, it's regional.
Regional, okay.
State by state, but now there's a central regional, there's
okay.
a western regional, but you may or may not have reciprocity.
But so again, because for me, what makes no sense is that this, usually this was made for the whole dentist, everything you can do, treating a patient. But when you're doing something virtual, you're restricted in what you can do. It's mostly, like you said, having a contact with a person, answering some questions, but you're not treating the patient. So why should it be restricted like that?
But you're offering professional advice. But all of us know about these radio or podcasts or things where it's a physician.
Yeah.
And you can ask the doctor a question, and I think that that's going on in dentistry too. I have reason to believe it's going on. I haven't really listened to any of those things. And maybe it's something we could do. Clear aligners compared to fixed appliances. I can sum mine up very quickly. Shall I do that now?
Sure, go ahead.
Patient asks, do I need braces? What's your answer?
Nobody needs braces.
Nobody needs braces.
That's it. That's my answer. Do I need, and I would not say braces. Do I need a treatment? Do I need an orthodontic treatment? It's the same question, same answer.
And the same answer is nobody needs it.
That's it.
Who's the person?
Nobody will die from that. You will not die from not having an orthodontic treatment.
So two very famous orthodontists here in the States, Rolf Gordon Barentz, editor of the American Journal of Orthodontics, and now fully retired Professor Lyle Johnston. They actually address those questions as two scholars. And they came up with an answer.
Oh, yeah?
Who needs braces? Or now, to respect the fact that clear aligners are going wild, even more wild based on the stock and prices of Invisalign. Who needs braces? Can you guess what their answer? They came up with an answer. Who needs clear aligners? Who needs braces?
My guess would be those who want it.
You see, that's why you are Stephane and I'm not, because that was their conclusion.
Ah,
The only person who really needs straight teeth is the person who wants straight teeth.
that's it.
The only person who really needs a different occlusion is a person who wants a different occlusion. It's wonderful, don't you think?
It is, but that's mostly, a lot of time, that's the problem. That's the problem with dentists. That's the problem when trying to sell something to a patient. I mean, people will buy, because we're talking about buying, people will buy treatment when they want it, not when I want it for them. They're gonna do it, they're gonna buy it, they're gonna, when they want it, when they feel that they need it. Otherwise, forget it.
Yeah.
And this is where the difference is with again, the manipulation and the influencing. If you manipulate people at one point, maybe they will do it, but when they find out your plan, or that's when you can be in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's, if you look at the psychology of sales, for example, automobile sales, or any really, really gifted salesperson, or not even gifted, but experienced and effective salesperson. The first thing that that you become aware of, or that your mentors or experts will let you in on, is don't sell somebody something they don't want, because they're going to be unhappy with it.
That's it.
So if you manipulate them to follow what you want them to do, which is either going to be ego, the person who's selling their ego, or greed. They want the money, or more likely both.
Both. That's it.
But if you do that, now you're going to have you have a high risk of having somebody who's unhappy, versus if you figure out what they want and then decide if you can meet their needs.
That's it. And it goes back to what I was saying to you at one point. Say, you can treat people like, like you said, I treat people like I would want to be treated. No, treat them like they want to be treated.
Yeah, that's perfectly said. That's a C.L.E.A.R Institute original right there. No, really, I think people,
no,
it's the same with your friends.
That's it.
Isn't it?
And, of course, anybody. I mean, that's it. Treat them like they want to be treated. And it can be really different from what you want.
Which means you have to care about how they want to be treated.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you have to love, Gerry. You have to love. What's the difference? What does it mean to love, Gerry?
Stephane,
don't cry. Don't cry.
It's such a
Gerry, don't, no, Gerry, don't cry.
Okay,
what does it mean to love, Gerry? Okay. What does it mean to love? What was the topic again?
The winter solstice.
What does it mean? No, because I sometimes I talk about this, and I say, you say you need to care. I say you need to love. I sometimes say you need to love your patient. But everybody says I love what I do. I love what we're doing now. I love coffee. I love you love your dog. You love your you I love my patient. I love I love being a dentist. But I'm not in love with my patient. That's different. I'm not in love with my coffee. So I think if you don't care, and for me, it's the same as loving. If you don't love, if you don't care, you just can't do it. You're going to be fake. You don't want to be fake. You have to care. If you don't care about your friends, if you don't care about your patients, if you don't care about your job, you don't care about your employees, your team, at one point, people will notice.
Sounds like the current state of politics, but I digress.
Go ahead.
Now I'll stay away from the political thing. There's plenty
Yeah,
of
well,
there's plenty of trash going around about that. So when it comes to the teledentistry, I think this is an interesting opportunity, and to connect all these things. What I'm saying is okay, if it's a new patient,
yeah,
it's not a patient of record in your office. That's a completely different issue.
that's it.
If it's a new patient and you're offering advice, what's the objective? Well, if you're offering advice to a new patient, they have a dental question, you're doing a teledentistry, a televisit. And I think that's one of the things looking into next year and the permanent changes from the COVID, the COVID haze, is teledentistry. Now, with this,
But you said, what's the goal? The goal is always the same. The real goal is always to get them through the door.
That's
the goal is not to have this virtual consultation. The goal is to get them through the door. But you know what the problem is? I think it's that some people will be really comfortable with that. I have no problem talking to a camera. You have no problem talking to a camera. But some people are really not comfortable with that.
Now, are you talking about the doctor, the patient, or both of them?
Both of them. A patient is not really a problem, because if they do it, it's because they're comfortable enough. But some doctors might. I mean, why is it that doctors are not answering the phone? You're going to say because they have to be at the chair. But even if they could, how many of them? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I would not be as good as my front desk is managing this. I have no problem with the camera. So I think that maybe also if you're using this teledentistry to get people in, it might also be a good idea to have somebody who's comfortable doing it. And if it's not you, have somebody in your office being comfortable doing it. And now this is also different, like you said, for new patient, when you're just trying to use this to have new patients in, or you're using this for not diagnostic, but you have an emergency or everything. But again, what's the difference with this and having your front desk answer the phone for an emergency?
Well,
if you have your hygienist doing things like that and just saying the same thing, well, I'm doing this virtually, perfect. Okay, I'm going to talk to Dr. Samson. I'm going to tell Dr. Samson what we just said, what I saw, everything. Maybe she took a screenshot or whatever of this. There was an abscess or whatever, or something, a broken tooth, or. I mean, does it really have to be the dentist that has to do that? Because the other thing is that when you're doing this, you're not at the chair. It takes time to do that. It has to be scheduled. It has to be, you cannot just, when you're doing this virtually, you have to take some time to do it. And this is time you're not at the chair.
Well, we have, as I'm thinking about this while we're discussing it, you have some definite boundaries. So you have the boundary of the specialty of general dentistry, and as you've heard me say many times, I consider that the most difficult specialty. Well, versus the specialty area of orthodontics. So if this is a provocative thought for the permanent change of teledentistry and those people that are going to be ready for it, because I think this Marty Jablow makes a good point that, and I think everybody's in agreement with this. Here, one of his other points is by using teledentistry, we can get past the mask for new patients who, during the pandemic, will never see the dentist unless then full personal protective equipment. So it's very appealing because the patient is not going to be at risk and of an infection, and the doctor and the team are not at risk. So this is an interesting thing you're bringing up, which I hadn't thought of, and I haven't read anything about it, is the front desk answers the phone and it's a new patient. Now, new patients, you know, as we've talked about before, those people that are going to thrive, forget surviving. That's not good enough. Survival is never going to work because you're going to go down.
Yeah.
You have to thrive.
You just, no.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
You just can't be breathing air through a thin straw. And it'll be very frustrating. So the people that will thrive are, I think for 2021, are going to make some decisions. And this speaks to the topic that you had mentioned about competition and differentiating yourself. Competition and differentiation. Okay, so now let's take the step of saying we recognize that the formula for success is, and this is coming from major business people. Mm-hmm. And since I don't have their permission to use their names, I won't. But I'm not just talking about dental people. I'm talking about captains of industry. Mm-hmm. Two things. One is customer service, consistent customer service. That means meeting needs, which we just talked about. And what's the second thing? Or you will never thrive. Consistent customer service. And what do you think the other one is? Because you're very good at this, Stephane. So give me another guess. You had better know something else.
Customer service.
Consistent
customer service.
And
trying to think.
You need to know how to run your business.
Yeah.
If you don't,
that's the other thing.
That's it. That's the two.
Okay. Well, it goes back to, because a lot of dentists I know, they don't want to say they have a business.
Why not?
That's it. Why not? Because it is a business.
This is how you feed your family.
You have employees, you have everything a business has. I mean, it is a business.
It is, and it's something, it's noble.
That's it. This is how I see it too. This is why I don't understand. But for some people, if you say it's a business, you're just there for money. Well, I'm sorry. You know, Gerry, it's never about the money, but it's always about the money.
Well, anybody who says to me, well, you know, you're about the money, or, I mean, they're saying that to me personally. You know what my answer to that is? Do not judge others based on your values.
Yeah, well, but I mean, you need that balance. You need always that balance between financial success and clinical success. They have to be balanced. Otherwise, I mean, if you have only financial success and you don't have clinical success, it won't last long. And if you only have clinical success and no financial success, I'm sorry, you're going to be out of business.
It's the same in restaurants. If you think of the restaurant,
anything,
you think of the restaurant, if the clinical part is the food and the customer service, but the business part of it as well. And they're, like you say, they're locked together.
Yeah.
So when we think about this, about that, having business sense is very noble, or hiring people that do, because how are you going to feed your family? How are you going to have a retirement plan? I mean, you won't. So if we take the step of saying the lifeblood of the business is our new patients.
Yeah,
you have to have the new patients.
Of course.
We or no?
That's it. It's, for me, it's that's, you want to know if your business is healthy, You need these new patients, of course, and you need them to stay.
That's right.
Not just coming from the front door and going back. There has to be no back door. It has to be closed. It has to be locked. Need to keep them in.
And they need to refer their friends.
Yeah, of course, friends, families, co-workers, whatever. But yeah, but you have to ask for it. If you don't tell them, they won't know. And if you just wishing that they're gonna refer, I mean, it's people think you're maybe not now because they go in the waiting room and there's no waiting room anymore. There's only one people at a time. But usually you would go to the dentist, the waiting room is full. They even think you don't take new patients. How many times did I have patient asking me, you still take new patients? Of course. One of the better things I heard is that always to say to a patient, and when's the best time to tell a patient to send you people is when they make you a comment, a positive comment. That's the time. And you always tell them, don't keep us a secret. Please don't keep us a secret. Just, especially now, it's even easier now with Facebook, with all the social media.
So with recognizing that without the new patients coming through, is there a space for new patients having a televisit instead of just a phone call? What do you think of that idea?
Well, like I told you, I like that idea. I like it because I'm comfortable with that.
Now, from a business sense, it seems to me that the team, not just the doctor, the whole team needs to understand these are our goals for new patients in the month of January. You have to have a goal. You can't just say, well, we'll see what happens.
Oh, well. No. Goals, objectives. Oh, well, Gerry, what's the goal? I want more patient. I want more new patient. That's not a goal.
That's not a goal.
Doesn't mean anything. So what do you need to have a goal? What does it mean to have a goal?
Yeah. What does it mean to have a goal to become a dentist? Well, you need to get through college and dental school. There it is. So yeah, exactly. It's like, how many new patients? One of the better business people in dentistry that I've known is, you're friends with him as well, as Michael Schwartz, Specialty Dental Brands. He said, put the patients in the chair, get the patients in the chair, practice ethical dentistry, and the rest will take care of itself because, like Michael says, I know how to run the business.
Yeah. I
know how to get people in place to run the business, but you have to have the patients in the chair.
Well, you have to get them through the door.
You have to get, well, that's what the Jay Geyer, right? The Schedule Institute.
Yeah, that's it. Get them through the door and then we'll take care of them.
Yeah.
So that's it. He was always saying, what's the role of the front desk? Just get them through the door. After that, we'll take care of them in the back. We'll make sure that they stay with us. And who wants to change the dentist all the time? Nobody wants to change dentist. I think it's one of the most stressful thing to find a new dentist. So once you're a dentist, if you're satisfied, if you have this, especially again, this customer service, because what is customer service? I mean, we all offer the same thing. When we're talking about clear aligners, we're talking about braces. If I'm doing Invisalign, I'm offering Invisalign. Well, for a patient, Invisalign is Invisalign, and it is. I mean, it's an aligner is an aligner. It's the same Invisalign in every office. They're all made the same way. What's going to be the difference? Can people really tell? How many patients did you see? Just went for a root canal treatment and showing the X-ray to their friends, saying, "Look at this. Look at the root canal my dentist made. Look that right at the apex. Isn't that wonderful? Because you should go see this guy." Nobody does that.
No.
So what their perception is based on, And what?
Well, it's a customer service.
That's it.
It's
Why do people, Gerry, I already know the answer. Did you ever go to Walt Disney? Well, maybe you were a mascot at one point.
Yeah, I was. I actually I was Goofy.
Yeah, that's it. You still
Yeah, yeah.
are.
I've been to Disneyland a couple times, but Disney
Did you?
World. Yeah, Disneyland. I've been a few times.
Oh,
But
really? I didn't.
no, Disney World. I've been there a lot.
Okay. Well, that's, why do people go there?
The experience.
That's it. It's certainly not because it doesn't cost anything. It's really expensive. And you think really people that go there, it's all because they have money? Certainly not. When they leave, they have no money. That's for sure. Spend it all there. But I mean, that's the thing. People go there for the experience, and everything they're doing is about that, about the experience, about creating an experience. Nobody that I know went to Disney and came back complaining that they waited 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours in line, or that whatever it was, was so hot. Or no, people say, oh, we had to wait, but everything was thought of. I mean, there was some entertainment and everything is, I know, it was so clean, and you hear things like that. Even though the children were, I mean, it was probably terrible. They was so tired at the end of the day, but they come back, they go again. Why? All because of customer experience.
Absolutely.
But in dentistry, well, we all offer the same cake. It's all the same thing. We have the same products, or about the same. An implant is an implant for a patient. They don't care. The difference is the icing on the cake. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. The difference is that the office, the entire team, cares about the patient, and they care about each other.
Oh. Ooh.
There's an excellent book called The Loyalty Effect. It's the main book, probably is still being recommended by the Kellogg Business School and the Leadership Institute therein. The Loyalty Effect. And they point out that customers, we can call those patients, will not become loyal. They will not maintain loyalty until they perceive loyalty within the organization.
Oh, that's good.
So, and obviously some people are very tuned into, are these people functioning are they happy to be on the job? Are they happy to be in the office?
Yeah.
Now, I read a number of years ago, and I don't remember where this was, or I probably should look it up again, so I could actually quote the reference. But what's the number one that people want to encounter immediately in any circumstance, in any encounter? What's the number one thing they want to perceive? I'll put it this way. What's the top thing people want to perceive in an encounter, whether it's a dental office or phoning a friend or buying a ticket for a show or calling Disney World? Anything you can think of. What's the top thing?
Well, I would say respect, Gerry.
And I would say the number one thing by these studies, and if you think about it yourself, right? One time, a statistician who's also an orthodontist, but by the name of Carl Russell, he has a PhD in statistics and practiced with me for a short period of time. He actually said, when you read a study or hear the results of a study, as people listening or watching are now, they're hearing the results, and it makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
You think, okay, that explains it. That's how I feel. That's what I've seen. That's my experience. That was probably a pretty good study. But if you hear or read something that makes no sense to you at all, there's something either wrong with me, that I'm fooling myself, and seeing what I want to see instead of the facts, or there's something wrong with the study.
Mm-hmm.
So when I read this study, that the number one thing that people want to perceive at an initial encounter of any type is someone who's happy to see them.
Yeah.
Or happy to hear their voice.
Mm-hmm.
That made complete sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think is people think about this very provocative idea for 2021 of incorporating new patient visits through some sort of video and recording the video with their permission, obviously, you'd be getting their permission on the recording.
Yeah.
And you would let the let's say it's not the doctor who's fielding the call, would say, well, what I'm going to do with your permission is I'm going to record this so I can inform Dr. Reinhardt of our conversation, and he can see what you had to say, and hear what you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be a really powerful thing, don't you?
Oh, I think it is. I mean, for me, those who will implement that, those who will incorporate that in a new way of doing things, it's going to be more than powerful. You're talking about customer service, but this is where it starts.
And people are so ready for this because of COVID.
That's like I told you, we stepped at least 5 years forward easily.
I think I don't know if I mentioned this to this friend and colleague of mine, Terry Farrelly, who practices general dentistry in Rosegrey, Ireland, outside of Dublin. Terry's a very, very skilled dentist. He's also a very ethical and skilled business person.
I know him.
Oh yeah. You met him.
I met him.
Well, he said to me, "Can you guess in my dental businesses, because he has more than one? Can you guess if the thing that has gone straight through the roof during COVID? I mean, the consumption or sales of this particular dental product has gone wild." And he said, "Can you guess what it is?" I said, I don't know. Straight teeth. I mean, what? He said, "No, it's bleaching."
Oh yeah, bleaching.
Because people they see their teeth.
Yeah.
Now they say, "Ooh, my teeth are straight, or my teeth are crooked, or my teeth aren't white enough." He said the bleaching trays have gone wild. And I can't imagine that straight teeth and a smile that's pleasing and well balanced, that's going to go nuts, because virtual learning, I mean, virtual visits. A friend of mine who's about to turn 80 on New Year's Day said to me today, he said, "I'm 80 years old, January 1st, and I'm obviously not a technology person. I'm not a technology baby. But this Zoom thing has changed." He said, "I'm contacting friends that I haven't heard from or seen in 25 years by Zoom. It's just fantastic." And I said, it's fantastic in a few ways. One is that for those people that you really do want to see and hear from, and then for those that you find out, no, that was enough. Oh, gotta go. Oh, the camera's frozen. Sorry.
Suddenly, unmute.
Yeah. Can't hear you. All right, Stephane. Well, let's pick this up again, because we have a lot more to talk about.
Oh my God. Yeah, we could again continue more and more and more. Always a delightful experience, my friend.
All right, Stephane.
Hey, Gerry.
Number 6. Let me see
number 6. Number 6 is done.
Number 6. 6. 6.
Join us next time for another interesting and entertaining episode of The Odd Couple. Meanwhile, have fun making the move, always making sure that your center of rotation is outside of the box.